You know, guys, something I hear all the time is how can I make it through to black belt? How can I, with all the things in life going on, how can I manage that? How can that happen? It seems like an insurmountable task. Guys, my name is Bill Jones, head instructor of top level martial arts in beautiful downtown Cuyahoga Falls. You're watching Professor's Corner. I am a black belt under Master Pedro Sauer. Guys, if you like what I'm saying here, if you have any questions, anything like that, do me a favor, comment below. Don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. It really does help, and give it a thumbs up if you can. Guys, the question always comes up, how do I make it to black belt? How do I make it, from that where I am now to where you are? And I would say, my journey's not done. I'm not where I want to be, so black belt shouldn't be your goal. But let's be honest, that's the first goal. How do I not quit? And let me tell you just a story. Some people that I know that are in my academy, my own personal experiences, and you could go to, honestly, probably your own instructor and people all over the world who run martial arts academies, jiu-jitsu academies, and they're going to be able to give you similar stories. Right now, I have people in my academy who completely lost their jobs, completely done, like laid off, not coming back, not part-time, just like, hey, you don't have a job anymore. And they figured out ways to make it work. They took extra side jobs, and they did what they felt they needed to find the money to pay tuition and keep coming to class. I have a guy who half of his leg is like gone. Like, he has every excuse not to do it. And his only request was, hey, is it okay if I wear wrestling shoes? It helps support my ankle better. And he trains. I have a guy who's in the hospital having a toe amputated. And his question to me that he wrote me was, hey, Bill, is it okay if I wear wrestling shoes when I come back? Like, of course it's okay. Like, goodness gracious, man, let's get you healthy. I'm more concerned about that. It's funny because the other side of that coin is that I'll have someone who, like, their car breaks down and they run into it. And let me point out that none of those people that I mentioned are independently wealthy. Not one of them. They all have the day-to-day grind, the week-to-week paycheck that they're trying to figure out. And, they're not like walking around with like independently wealthy. So let's be very clear about that. These are regular middle-class people who are just trying to make it by, and they figure it out. And then on the other side of that, you'll have someone, their car breaks down, they need to buy like 4 tires, it's going to cost them $300, and so they drop out of classes because of it. They're like, oh, I've got to pay $300 for tires, and it's like, man, it's crazy. And I'm not judging anybody for their choices. Let me also make that clear. Like, you're going to make the choices you think you need to make to survive, and I respect that. I get that. I do. But in the end, what you really need to be asking yourself, if you want to go from white belt to black belt or whatever, is what are you trying to accomplish in this journey? I think a lot of people enter martial arts, and jiu-jitsu specifically, because they're looking for something in themselves that's missing. A lot of times they'll come in talking about fitness, and it is fitness, but at the same time, like, you could jump on a treadmill, right? You could go to Planet Fitness for $10 a month and get fitness. There's just something missing that's not there. And it's not even necessarily self-defense, because I noticed that a lot of well-adjusted human beings don't get into fights, right? They're not that overly concerned about self-defense. There's something more. And the question you need to ask yourself is the jiu-jitsu that you're training going to get you there? Does it seem like it's headed in the right direction? Is it challenging you? Is it fulfilling a part of you that you feel is missing? And for the people who answer yes unequivocally to that question, they find a way. And for the people who don't, they say, you know what, I'd rather sit at home and, do whatever, play games, drink a beer, whatever it is they'd rather do. They choose that instead. And that's what it really comes down to, is how bad do you want it? And more than how bad do you want it, is this what you really want? Right? Like, a lot of people just say, oh, well, it's all about how bad you want it. Well, of course, but if you come to the conclusion that this isn't going to get you from point A to point B, why would you go down that road? So jiu-jitsu is a hard journey. It's hard to go from white belt to black belt. It's really hard. It's hard to go from white belt to blue belt. You're gonna get beat up along the way. Injuries, 100%, they will happen from time to time. Most of them not severe. Okay, most of them not severe, but they are annoying. You know, it's annoying when your toe hurt, you stub your toe or twist your toe, and you kind of walk with like a limp a little bit for a couple days. You know, then everybody wants to ask about it. What's wrong with you? I twisted my toe in jiu-jitsu. Man, why do you do that stuff? Like, these are the questions you end up dealing with, and not only inside the academy are you getting beat down, but that's a little bit of a beat down outside, because some of us haven't figured that answer out yet. Right? You're like, you know, I don't know why I do it. I just really like it. Like, that's what your answer is. And I suspect that you're one of those people who finds that jiu-jitsu fills a gap in your life, and something about you and the way your brain works and the way you operate, that you feel like you need it. And if you're that person, then you're going to find a way. You're going to figure it out. I have hundreds of students who do that every day, every week, every month. And I've helped thousands of people who've made the opposite decision. You know, thousands of people have now walked through my academy and started and quit, you know, one way or the other. And I like to think we've made a positive impact on them, regardless of them staying or not. But if you want to be the person who makes it, you really want that, you're going to have to sacrifice. Sometimes that means you're going to have to sacrifice money. Sometimes that means you're going to have to sacrifice time. Sometimes that means you're going to have to kind of be in pain. These are the difficult things. And I'll tell you a secret that I believe 100%. Friends, I've been to war. I've done a lot. I'm only 40 years old, but I've done a lot in my life. And I can tell you that no matter what it is and who I talk to that is at a high level of anything, there's been a level of sacrifice. And it's always time or money or pleasure or whatever that they're having to sacrifice. So even if you choose something other than jiu-jitsu, if you want to actually be fulfilled, you want to get to the peak of that Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you're going to have to sacrifice to get there. Guys, my name is Bill Jones. This is Professor's Corner. If you have any questions, you want something for me to talk about specifically, do me a favor, put the comment below. Give me a question. I'd love to answer it. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one.